How did you catch this sketch?
You know what, we can't get too far into it. There was a lot of evidence that led our investigators that way. I got to tell you at this point, it was just a good old-fashioned police work.
$10,000 reward, is that going to go to someone? Or no?
At this point, we have to kind of measure how much help we received. Ultimately, really, the individuals behind me, Lieutenant Fong and his officers and detectives, really just did an amazing job of police work. This is really where, one of those things where, technology helps us do our jobs, but really nothing replaces the experience of a police officer and a detective, and that's really what broke this case.
Why do you think,
made
sir?
it clear out there the other day that you really wanted to get this done?
I said it then, I'll say it again. We would have gone to the ends of the earth to find this individual. His actions were deplorable, has no business in our society. Certainly an individual that feels that it's okay to shoot at police officers is a dangerous individual that we don't want in our community. And these officers just did amazing work. And even had I not said that, they would have gone off and did exactly what they did, which is just amazing police work.
Why did
Chief,
he
now
shoot
that you
in the
have
first
your
place?
suspect, have you learned any new details about how this thing actually went down? And can you just reiterate for us what you think happened that evening?
Well, again, we can't elaborate too much because there's other investigations that we're still trying to tie this whole thing together. We know we have the right individual. We have an idea per our investigation. We had the individual here yesterday. Per our investigation, we have a good idea of what transpired that evening. It's not too much different than what we put out originally. But right now we have to really be careful with as much information we put out. This is a gang-related crime, and there's other factors that come into play here.
Did he say why he did it, Chief? I mean, from what you've told us, the officers just approached the group, and he turned, squared up on them, and started shooting.
Again, we're not going to get into the individual statement, other than the fact that we are extremely confident that we have the right individual.
Chief, is it important to send a message to the gang community that you can't get away with this kind of stuff?
Well, I think it's important to send to the entire community. Your police officer here to protect and to serve you and to guard you. And it's deplorable when officers' lives are threatened by just simply doing their job. So it's not just a message to the gangs, but it's a message really to the entire community. And it's really just not here in San Jose, but nationwide we've seen this. And you know what, we do need to make sure and ensure that we follow up with our promises of finding individuals that do this.
What makes this gang-related, Chief?
The individual was part of a gang.
Simple as that? Simple as that?
Simple as that. I think we'll get it to you afterwards with Albert, but
I'll get you all that information.
we'll get you all that info.
Is this currently being seen as a spontaneous encounter, or were these officers specifically targeted? Can you speak to that?
At this point, it was spontaneous. At this point, you have officers that are out in an area trying to protect this community from a gang element, and they approach these individuals, and what transpired is what has happened this week.
Were these